let us all do we can to build a better future. We are going to get started with our first segment. And I'm really excited to talk about this story. It has to deal with our good friend, Neera Tanden. Neera Tanden. So what exactly is going on? Well, apparently, there's two videos that I want to give reference to Case Study QB. Again, follow him on Twitter. He's doing a fantastic job. This first video is really how corporate media seems to have its, again, two different videos. See if you could spot the difference. But in this first video, it's just, you got to wonder, what world is this person living in where progressives want to ally with Neera? What? Let's play that video.
You know, I asked that same question about Tanden to someone close to the White House. You know, why double down on this? Why not? You know, people are privately acknowledging they don't have a 50th vote somewhere. There was some talk about Senator Portman maybe getting behind her at some point. You know, that does not appear to be happening. There's no indication that she has enough votes to get confirmed. So why not just pull the nomination? The person said to me, you know, there's not really any upside for the White House in doing that at this point. Maybe it could move the process along by putting someone else up there, you know, but it would just upset her supporters. It would upset progressives in the liberal wing of the party. And their case, too, was that for Tanden, who could also withdraw her name, you know, this has given her high profile. It has increased her popularity with liberals. She's sort of seen as this progressive fighter, you know, and it's just getting her name out there.
This is why no one trusts mainstream media.
Their take was there wasn't really any upside in doing that at this point. You know, the other nominees, there could be a different calculus. And, you know, I know from the beginning of the selection process, the three you mentioned, Tanden, Haaland, and Becerra, have been seen as the wild cards. One person referred to me, said that there might be some sacrificial lambs in there. So understanding that these were risky picks. They could have picked a boring governor from some state for HHS, and they didn't. And, you know, part of that was this Biden administration's push to get diversity in there, to get progressives, to get different viewpoints within the Democratic Party in his cabinet. And that's one of the reasons that these candidates were selected and that we're seeing a difficult confirmation fight here.
What? Can I just really quickly point out that Joe Biden's entire administration is putting more effort to get Neera Tanden confirmed than passing the minimum wage, passing stimulus checks. Neera Tanden, you did your deed. You were the attack dog. Isn't it funny though how they're like, oh yeah, Neera Tanden. Why do people not like her? Well, she did all these tweets against Republicans and Bernie and progressives. She was horrible to them. That's why they don't want to vote for her. But she also is supported by those same progressives.
I am not supporting her, and neither is anyone else that I know who's progressive, because there's a lot of my fellow colleagues in the independent media networks that have done fantastic work, us here included, calling out the hypocrisy of Neera Tanden and of the corporate Democrats. Biden has surrounded himself with pro-corporatist people, but what I find interesting is that people like Mitt Romney, Joe Manchin, and Susan Collins are basically against her. And these are conservative. Obviously, two of them are Republicans. One of them is a blue dog Democrat who might as well be a Republican. But the one person who really hasn't said anything, who's been shockingly quiet about this whole thing, has been Bernie Sanders. His silence is really disturbing, because if I went through what he went through, I would show no loyalty to these people. The only person who I know who's actually kept it together, even after they tried to destroy her career, was Tulsi Gabbard. And, you know, but hey, she pulls no punches because she calls out the Democratic and Republican establishment for the frauds that they are. At least she's willing to fight back. Bernie, I mean, why are you so quiet?
Bernie's like, this is like goalpost moves. This is where Bernie's at. And then,
all right, I thought you were going to show me something in the chat.
Joe Biden is like, hey, Bernie, if you drop out, I'll give you some concessions. Okay, well, now that I can't actually give you the concessions right now, I need you to actually really try to go to your fans and supporters and tell them to vote for me. Then I'll give you those concessions. Okay, well, I can't do that right now. It's not a good time. There's a pandemic. We have to be unified because there's Trump impeachment. But if you just stick with us in this process, I'll give you the concessions. Okay, Bernie, we can't do that right now. It's not really favorable. We're trying to lower the stimulus check amount that Trump is doing and get people to think that he's really bad. So once that's done, we'll give you some concessions. Okay, Bernie, great. Now that you're the chair of where you're at, we need you to do everything in your power. I know you hate Neera, and she sort of attacked all of your family and your supporters and your staff and called you sexist and racist and everything else to the point where she's deleted 1,000 tweets. But we really still need you to help support her. Okay, we're not going to do the concessions.
Yep, and that's the legacy of Bernie, where it's just he started off strong in 2016, is now just fizzled on out. I'm sorry if that hurts anyone's feelings, but you know I want to see someone who's going to push back. Well, let's play this other video because again, it's going to be a 55-second video, so it'll probably repeat itself very soon. So just be ready to pause it again.
Would it be fair to say it's going to repeat itself in 55 seconds?
No, but what I want to point out is that this one short video is going to hit the nail on the head about why people don't like Neera Tanden. This short segment.
Well, for those of us that don't know why we shouldn't like her, let's take a look.
But as you alluded to, Casey, it seems like the lights are out for Neera Tanden's nomination to be OMB director. Tanden, a former head of the Center for American Progress, I think she's currently the head of the Center for American Progress, came under fire from the left and the right and basically everybody on Capitol Hill for a range of things. She has tweeted a lot of nasty stuff about Republicans, so I guess that's not surprising given that she's a Democratic activist. And furthermore, the left doesn't love her because she was against Bernie Sanders.
Wait, can pause that really quick for a second? Yeah. Wait a minute. Are they pull the camera here for a second. I just want to let me get this straight. MSNBC is saying that she is progressives and progressives love her, and she is not a progressives and progressives hate her. Man, they need to get their continuity. Like, you know how like movies have like continuity directors and TV shows? They need to hire one of them just to get their lies.
Well, I just want to give you just a very funny thing that I want to point out to our entire viewing audience before we play the rest of the video. But real quick to our viewing audience, there's been hashtag reject Neera Tanden that's been trending on Twitter. And then there's been Yes Neera Tanden, which has been cheerleaded by the liberal Democrats. And that one is not trending as much. There's like, compared to Reject Neera to Yes Neera, Reject Neera is 10K in the lead.
I wonder why.
Yeah, don't worry, folks. But here, let's play the rest of that video. And then I got some fun tweets to share with you guys and gals.
A lot of corporate money. No one seems to be rescuing her. The White House is standing by her for now. I'm not sure what they're standing by her for, what they're waiting for. I don't see any Republicans at this point, as we sit here this morning, who are willing to come out and rescue her nomination. So I would imagine that the White House will have to shift gears here in the next couple days. But
yeah. So again, this is the Biden administration. This is how they act. This is how they're going to operate. And remember, we even covered on the show on how Joe Biden is trying to get Rahm Emanuel into his administration too as an ambassador.
Why not?
You know, I mean, it's starting to get really pathetic with this entire Democratic presidential administration. I mean, look, let's face it. He has surrounded himself with people who have implemented neoliberal policies that basically helped give rise to Trump. But I want to pull up some awesome tweets here from some of our fellow colleagues that are rightfully calling out Neera Tanden for the hypocrite and monster that she is. Because, you know, remember, she was all on board with being a pirate in Libya. So shout out to our good friend Frank Analysis. Reject Neera Tanden at all costs and stop making excuses for Bernie, AOC, and all the other Democrats who will vote for her. Because it's, and it's okay. We could stop there. Wait, hold on. Can you highlight that one tweet right there as well? Or support her in the case of AOC, who is not a senator. Well, yeah, and again, I find it interesting that, like, you know, again, why does it have to be, you know, these conservatives fighting Neera Tanden and not Bernie Sanders?
We got to stay in line. Yeah. Because if progressives do anything to make themselves unique and special, that would be bad, except for their cause and re-election purposes.
Right. And now let's pull out another tweet of a good friend. This is Colin Tierman, who was Tulsi Gabbard's part of Tulsi Gabbard's campaign. Wouldn't it be amazing if mainstream media had a real conversation about Neera Tanden, if they openly discussed the psychology of someone who wants to steal Libya's oil after destroying their country's stability? If they asked her, how did we get here? Hashtag reject Neera Tanden. All right, and I want to pull up the next tweet. But before we do, again, can we get the camera on me real quick? Yeah. I just want to just acknowledge this. Look, there's no such thing as a perfect government. Never will be. And the previous government was run by a dictator, all right? But ever since that previous government has been destroyed, Libya has been reduced to an anarchic state where there's open slavery happening. In this modern day and age, open
they got
slavery.
Freedom. Wait, no, that's the opposite of freedom. My bad.
Right? And the whole thing is, what did Neera Tanden say? What did she say? What did she do? In an email, she said, we have a budget deficit. They have a lot of oil. I'm pretty sure all of us would be upset if somebody said that to us or did that to our country. But that's what the United States is doing. So when Tulsi Gabbard was calling out against regime change wars, yeah, we got to stop this. But somebody like Neera Tanden was all happy to cheerlead for it. Let's pull up this next tweet. Shout out to Fiorella Isabel from the Convo Couch. Shut up about Neera Tanden's blanking tweets. It's about her foreign policy, comments on Libya, paying us for their oil, her organizations with Wall Street money. She is the elite rot of the establishment we must defeat. Sanders voting for her will be the final end of his movement. Hashtag reject Neera Tanden. And Fiorella Isabel is absolutely correct, as have been everyone else that's been calling for rejecting Neera Tanden. But sadly, the silence of Bernie Sanders, as well as other larger progressives and progressive networks, is very disturbing. We covered on yesterday's show about how Cenk Uygur is going to bat for Neera Tanden, saying we need her in because, you know,
maybe those are the progressive allies they're talking about.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. I guess maybe so. That TYT is that.
I'm going to pull a mainstream media. We got to be fair and balanced.
Fair and balanced.
We have to do a show or talk about a tweet where it's yes, Neera, and I think I can sort of channel that. She's Indian. You got to vote for her. That's the only qualification that matters. Now, ask me about Tulsi Gabbard.
Well, wait. Well, wasn't Tulsi Gabbard the last woman?
Shut up.
But Tulsi Gabbard was the last. She was the last.
We're very
woman.
Consistent.
But Tulsi Gabbard.
Neera Tanden's good because she's Indian. But Tulsi Gabbard's bad also for the same reason. The Democratic Party makes no mistakes.
But
be quiet. Where are your superiors? Go eat your ice cream.
I'm voting third party. I'm voting third party.